Z germs, right? Yung Gen Z germs, usually na location niya initially is si E. coli, yung group for example. Si E. coli, nasa tiyan ng pasyente, nagpupo siya, napunta siya sa isang surface. Pagkatapos, nag-perform si nurse ng tinatawag na catheterization using a clean gloves. And hawakan niya yung table without any disinfection, etc. And na-transmit niya yung kanyang bacteria, your E. coli, to the catheter through insertion that could cause contamination. That is what we call infection. So that is what we call your normal resident flora. Okay? Naiintindihan ba? Naiintindihan ba? Naiintindihan? Okay, perfect. Very good. Okay? That is your normal resident flora. Okay? Like you, the
I
Gen
bet.
Z,
Likod ng tuhod? Ang
usually in the
layo?
tuhod.
Libag. It's kinda
It's a
basic.
kind of
Ay!
basic.
Ito. From an affluent family pa.
Wow, Abarnakol. I hear sila may-ari ng buong liig.
So Barnacle is
Maybe
in
he's the
the
one?
nape area.
Or am I the Lulu?
Germsy. Nagbabago na ang germs.
Diba?
Magbago ka na ng sabon.
So nagbabago ng germs. So through performing your hand hygiene, you could eliminate this infections. Okay? So don't be a
Mag-new
germ
defensive
Z. Okay?
antibacterial soap.
Don't be a germ Z. Okay? So usually there are different types of bacteria that is usually found at the different parts of the body, like your Staphylococcus aureus, your Streptococcus salivarius, or Staphylococcus aureus on your mouth normally, or on your throat, or your gut is your Clostridium, or your E. coli, or your Escherichia coli and Staphylococcus aureus. But if this microorganism will be transmitted through your bladder, for example, it could cause your your catheter associated urinary tract infection. So that is what we call your normal resident flora. Sir, bakit kailangan natin niyang pag-aralan? Because in terms of infection, may tinatawag na kailangan natin mag-blood culture, no, para ma-identify what specific microorganisms. Like for example, ako as a dialysis nurse, if for example, I encountered a patient having fever or hyperexia, my initial reaction would be, no, with the doctor's order, we could take bloods like your CBC, no, your FBC, your full blood full bloods, no, for example, and CBC, your complete blood count, to identify what specific part ng tinatawag sa part ng dugo na nag-i-indicate na may infection. Ano nga yung tinatawag doon? What part of the blood that is responsible for indication of what we call infection? That is your, ano nga yung tawag? Part ng blood natin na nag-i-indicate na may infection yung pasyente? Very good, Jesly. That is your white blood cell. In terms of the other term, anong other term ng white blood cell? Hala, ano nga yung other term? Very good. That is the other term for your white blood cell. White blood cell, very common. Hala, very good. Leukocytes? Leukocytes, are you sure? Only Angel knows. Leukocyte? Hala, nakalimutan. Basic yon. Anong other terms? No judgment. Okay? Gusto ko malaman. Any idea about white blood cell? What is the other term for your white blood cell? Very good. Thrombocytes or leukocytes? Leukocytes. Okay, leukocytes. Ano nga yun yung platelet? Ano nga yun? That is leukocytes, no? Yung platelet is your that creating a clot, that is your thrombus, okay? Thrombocytes. Very good. Okay? Very good. So, these are the different examples of common resident microorganism. If you try to, this is based on Cogier book. So, again, we need to go back on basics, no? So, in the skin, it is found that we have your Staphylococcus epidermis, your Corynebacterium xerosis, or your Pitsorum ovale, that is normal. And on your nose, there is what we call your Staphylococcus aureus, no? Also on your mouth, no? But in the intestine, usually your Enterobacteriae, your Shigella, and very common is your E. coli or your Escherichia coli. But there is no E. coli. Have you seen? Walang E. coli sa tinatawag natin na urethral or your vaginal orifice. So, hindi pwedeng pumunta yung E. coli sa ating tinatawag na urinary tract infection or urinary tract because it could cause UTI. Okay? So, ayan yung tinatawag nating normal resident flora. So, what is the term in which there is a growth of microorganism in a body tissue and they are not usually found. So yung mga germ Z natin earlier na pumunta sa lieg ng pasyente, sa likod ng siko, etc. or sa kilikili ng pasyente. So what is that growth of microorganism in which body tissue are not usually found? Ano yung term natin doon? That is what we call your infection. Okay? So simple because we're talking about infection control, no? And we are celebrating this week your infection control and prevention week, no? It's a good timing, perfect, no? So growth of microorganism is a body tissue which are not usually found. So example, ako na taga Mansilingan, pupunta ako sa Barangay Kabog for example, and I could cause trouble or a problem, I serve as an infection. But if I stay in Mansilingan and I do nothing harm, I'm a resident flora. Naiintindihan? Naiintindihan ba natin, children? Naiintindihan ba? Very good. Okay, what is the term in which the microorganism cause an infection? Ano yung term? Yung microorganism na nagkukos ng infection. Ano yung term na yon? Anong yung term na yon? Isang microorganism na nagkukos ng infection? Very good, AJ. That is a pathogen. Or other term is usually in infection control. The other term is infectious agent. Okay? Infectious agent or anong other term ng tinatawag na infectious agent? Starts with letter C. Ano nga yung tawag natin? Other than microorganism that cause infection. Very good, Angel. That is your causative agent. Tandaan, ilagay sa notebook. Sir, kasi sa board exam, lumabas si infectious agent. Di ko alam. Lumabas si causative agent. So, the other term for infectious agent is causative agent. So, wag kang malito. It's the same term. Naiintindihan? Simple lang, no? Pero nakalimutan. No? Nakalimutan na natin. And then, nag-discuss tayo ng infection control or ng epidemiology, then hindi natin alam yung causative agent. No? So, the other term for the infectious agent or the microorganism that causes an infection, that is causative agent. Okay? Naiintindihan? Pakilagay nga ng pangalan RN. Pakilagay na nga ng pangalan RN. Okay? Pakilagay nga ng pangalan RN just to check if you're still awake. Naiintindihan pa? As of the moment, we have 180. Very good. Hindi bumababa. Very good. Okay. AJ Mondihar, Mary, Rachel. Very good. Okay. Very good. Okay. RN of the world. Krista. Perfect. Okay. Okay. Wala tayong dilulo dito. But we can. No? Pwede ka maging US RN, maging European RN, Australian RN. Yes. No? To be honest, that's my goal in the future. Okay? So, Victoria Asont. I love it. Group nila ni Charmaine. Hello, Charmaine, Victoria, Danica, Shirley, and Nakaano na ha. Perfect. Okay. CRNA. Okay, Therese. Perfect. No? If you want to. No? That's very good. Okay? So, microorganism that causes a microorganism that causes an infection, that is infectious agent. How about who is the proponent? Who is the proponent or the founder of CDC? Sino nga yung founder ng CDC? Sino nga yon? Very good. That is Joseph Monten. How about ano nga yung type of surveillance in which there is a constant straight line lang siya? Straight line, straight line. Very good. That is endemic How about there is a sudden surge? Sudden surge, sudden surge. Very good. That is epidemic. How about occasional? Pabugso-bugso. Very good. That is sporadic. How about a global? Global, okay? You become a global competitive nurse. That is pandemic. Very good. How about what is the other term for the infectious agent? What is the infectious agent? Infectious agent. Very good. That is causative agent. Very good. No? So ano naman yung type, no? Term in which yung microorganisms provides or produces no, take note, no clever clinical evidence of a disease. Ano yung term natin? That is what we call your asymptomatic or subclinical. So again, kung ang pasyente walang sign and symptoms, anong term natin? Asymptomatic or subclinical. Ano yung may sign and symptoms? Ano yung may sign and symptoms? That is your symptomatic, meaning may nararamdaman siya. For example, na-expose ka sa pasyenteng may tinatawag na Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Umubo siya in front of you and 1 week hindi ka pa inuubo, wala ka pang any signs of coughing, okay? Or fever, etc. That is asymptomatic. But for example, nagka-fever ka na and may tinatawag na pag-ubo and may tinatawag na blood tinge na ubo. So that is what we call your symptomatic. So kung may no clinical evidence ng disease process, that is asymptomatic. Pero kung ang pasyente naka-feel na ng sign and symptoms, that is what we call your asymptomatic. Okay? Symptomatic. Naiintindihan? Just an overview again ng mga terms natin. Okay? Para hindi tayo mawala sa ating review. Okay? So, there is what we call the difference between your infection and infectious disease. Okay? Found on your notes, no? Kindly fill in up. Okay? So, may tinatawag ba na present na microorganism sa infection? Yes. But more likely, ang infection, no, ay may tinatawag na either localized lang, no? Certain area lang, no? Either infection in a certain part, etc. But if you are transmitting the microorganism from one person to another through mode of transmission, it's either direct or indirect. That is what we call infectious disease. Okay? Infectious disease. But if the infectious disease is speed up more than 10 times, that is what we call, ano kayang term doon? If the infectious disease speeds up 10 times than the normal, that is what we call, ano kaya yon term? Lecture niyo na yon. Ano yung term? Starts with letter C, children. That is what we call contagious or, very good, Angel, contagious or communicable disease. Okay? Kung 10 times na nagsuspread ng infection. So again, what is our key points in terms of the difference between infection and infectious disease? Diba? Nalalaman na natin before nung college tayo, ay oo, may infection siya. Pero hindi natin alam the difference between infection and infectious disease. So when we talk about infection, there is a presence of microorganism like your Mycobacterium tuberculosis, etc. So both present, both in infection and infectious disease. But in terms of symptoms, ano nga yung other term natin sa symptoms? Ano nga yun? Kung may symptoms is present, ano nga yung term natin? Very good. Very good. Symptomatic. Ano nga yung kung there's no clinical evidence of infection, no clinical, very good, asymptomatic. So kung infection, not always may tinatawag na symptoms. So probably it's either asymptomatic or symptomatic, no? So dalawa pwede. Sometimes they could cause an infection or a symptoms like lagnat, fever, no, diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, etc. Okay? But there are also, no, na not always symptomatic or asymptomatic. Okay? But in infectious disease, there is always, no, a symptomatic evidence or clinical evidence. Why? Because we are transmitting through mode of transmission. That is your through your reservoir. Later, we'll talk about your chain of infection, no? So, paano matatransmit ang tinatawag na sakit from a vulnerable host, no? So, there is a damage, that tissue damage, no? So, in an infection, it is either localized, no? May tinatawag na tissue damage, probably, no, may not occur usually. So usually, no, walang symptoms na tissue damage sa infection, occasionally or may either meron din. So it really depends on the type of the disease process, but generally it may not occur. But in an infectious disease, for example, there is usually present. So there is always or most of the time may tinatawag na tissue damage, okay? And the clinical illness, it is either possible or absent, and in an infectious disease process there is a present of clinical illness. So again, kung tatanungin sa board exam, ang pasyente na may tuberculosis, ikaw ay nag-aalaga sa kanya pagkatapos nabahing yung pasyente or nag-sneeze ang pasyente in front of you, and after a week wala kang tinatawag na sign and symptoms, but you are a carrier, for example, that is called infection. Okay? So if you try to check through your blood cultures or even through tests and then there is a presence of microorganism, there is possible an infection, but wala ka lang sign and symptoms. But if the patient has or you as a nurse has already the signs and symptoms of tuberculosis, like blood tinge on your sputum, or either there is a fever or what we call your cough, that is what we call infectious disease. Naiintindihan, guys? Naiintindihan na natin yung difference between infection and infectious disease? Mas malinaw na? Naiintindihan? Any questions? Clarifications? Very good. Pa-heart naman dyan if naiintindihan. Very good. So, infection again is entry of or multiplication of microorganism in the body. It's the same with infectious disease. May or may not produce symptoms, but in infection, there is always a clinical manifestation. So, ginraf natin earlier sa true check na meron, no? Person can be infected without feeling sick. Like for example, na-expose ka sa patient na may tuberculosis, but you don't feel sick as of the moment. But if umuubo ka na ng may dugo, the person is visibly ill. It is already infectious disease. Okay? So now, let's have a case scenario. Okay? A nurse is exposed with tuberculosis during your duty. Si baby girl, nurse, nag-duty. Si Nurse John, for example, nag-duty sa infectious ward. Then, a TB skin test becomes positive, no? So, nagpa-skin test ka or skin test, no, or Mantox test, and nagkaroon ka ng positive, no, na tuberculosis. Okay, Mycobacterium tuberculosis, no? But hindi yun makikita sa skin test, right? But nag-positive ka lang sa Mantox test, for example. But the nurse doesn't have any cough, hindi umuubo yung nurse, hindi siya nagkakalagnat o fever, and normal yung chest x-ray niya. So, the nurse has possibly a latent tuberculosis infection but not active infectious disease. Naiintindihan na lalagay natin yung self natin sa scenario na na-expose ka lang pero positive ka sa tinatawag na TB skin test but wala kang any sign and symptoms. Like kanina, wala kang sign and symptoms but no, na-expose ka lang sa infection. Naiintindihan ba, children, yung case scenario natin? Kung maglalabas sa board exam, mas naiintindihan na natin ngayon yung difference between infection and infectious disease? Very good. Okay. Now, another case scenario. A patient arrives in the emergency department with persistent cough, no? May sign and symptoms na yung pasyente. Simple. Nagkakaubo, may night sweats, may tinatawag na fever, may weight loss, and during your x-ray, your chest APL, your anterior posterior lateral na chest x-ray, there is already presence of your pulmonary tuberculosis. So what is the indication of that? Is that an infectious or an infection lang? Answer, children. What is our interpretation for this scenario? Is it an infectious or infection or an infectious disease? Anong answer natin? The patient is symptomatic. Anong sagot natin, children? For this case, very good. So meron na siyang subclinical evidence. May tinatawag na siyang ubo, night sweats, fever, and weight loss. So that would be infectious disease. Okay? Naiintindihan? Children, naiintindihan? Are you a sepsis champion? Are you ready to top and to pass the board exam? Una dapat si top, okay? Okay, Blade, are you ready to pass and to top the board exam? Blade, ready. Very good, Shane. How about the others? Are you ready to pass and to top the board exam? Okay, let's have a quick temperature check. Okay, let's have a quick temperature check and be the next. Okay, and be the next sepsis champion. Okay, and be the next sepsis champion. So, question number one. Okay, question number one. So, a 30-year-old patient named Jason. So, si patient Jason has a Staphylococcus aureus, no? So, example, your Staphylococcus aureus is usually found on your, saan nga? Sa ating bibig, no? Usually sa ating bibig, usually, or sa ilong, no? So, that's normal. If that is normal, ano nga yung tawag sa term na yon? If that microorganism is present on a single area that causes no infection, ano nga yung term na yon? Very good, children. That is your normal resident flora. Okay? Normal resident flora. Very good. But on this case, no, si nurse named Jason or patient Jason present a wound swab, no, shows no fever, redness, or symptomatic symptoms or systemic infection. So meron siyang boil, for example. And then there is Staphylococcus aureus, localized lang. Localized. May dapat ba makikita yung Staphylococcus aureus sa ating kamay? For example, nagka-boil ka, normally ba nandyan siya? Yes or no? No, right? So hindi natin nakikita yung Staphylococcus aureus sa tinatawag nating skin, for example. So nagka-infect yung skin niya. So now, the nurse document this as ano yung sign or anong case na pinoproject ng pasyente. May tinatawag na Staphylococcus aureus, but may tinatawag na walang sign and symptoms. So, X, walang sign and symptoms yung pasyente. What would be the best answer? What would be the best answer, children? Okay. Is it an infectious disease process, infection, septicemia, or colonization leading to the disease? Hala, sir, parang maganda yung colonization. Parang bet ko yung answer na yon. Colonization. Okay. But colonization could cause a sign and symptoms. But on this case, may Staphylococcus aureus sa boil ng pasyente ni Jason pero wala siyang fever, no? Paki-highlight ng term na no. Okay? A big no-no. Okay? Walang fever, redness, or symptomatic symptoms. So anong best answer dito? How did you document this case? Is it an infectious disease? Meron ba sign and symptoms yung pasyente? Yes or no? Very good, no. Walang sign and symptoms yung pasyente. Septicemia. There is a spread of infection through. Ano ang septicemia? There is a spread of microorganism or infection through your... Ano yung key term natin sa septicemia? Starts with letter B. Very good. Blood, Angel. Very good. Through your bloodstream. So, walang septicemia yung pasyente. So, the best answer is letter A. Okay, letter A, mali. Okay, letter A is mali. Okay, that is infection. Okay, that is infection. Gets na, guys? Gets na? Chicken, nuggets, nuggets ba? Nuggets, nuggets? Okay, paki-answer ng chicken. Okay, I love that, may isang lecturer. Chicken, nuggets, nagagets ba? Chicken nuggets? Very good. Okay, very good. So, infection refers to the presence of a multiplication, multiplication of microorganisms without necessarily producing clinical. So, walang sign and symptoms. Okay, if you try to check your fundamentals ni Potter and Perry, that is also a good book for your fundamentals. So try to read your fundamentals ni Potter and Perry. Okay? Now, si Magdalena. Okay? Si Magdalena presents fever. Nilalagnat si Magdalena. Okay? Nagkaka-productive cough, ubo ng ubo si Magdalena. At yung kanyang chest x-ray is showing a pneumonia. Okay? Or there is a presence of a staphylococcus or a streptococcus pneumoniae. What condition is classified? Ano kaya yung classification ng case ni Magdalena? Is it infection only? There is already an infectious disease? Is there a contamination or a non-pathogenic colonization? Is there a contamination? Is it appropriate classification on this case? No. Okay. Contamination is more on the touching inanimate object, no? That is considered unsterile, no? So that is contamination. Non-pathogenic colonization is singled out in a specific area, while there are two choices, either infection only or infectious disease. May sign and symptoms na ba yung pasyente? May sign and symptoms na ba yung pasyente? Yes or no? Answer, children. Are you still there? Very good. Very good. Okay, yes. May sign and symptoms ang pasyente. So ano yung classification? Is it an infection only or infectious disease na? Infectious disease na yung pasyente. What would be the best answer? So may sign and symptoms ang pasyente, may tinatawag na cough, may tinatawag na fever, and ang kanyang chest x-ray ay may pneumonia. So what would be the best answer? Letter A is mali. Okay, letter A is mali. So, infection only. Kung wala siyang signs and symptoms, pwede, infection, if there is an exposure. But, meron na siyang ubo, meron pa siyang positive na Streptococcus pneumoniae sa X-ray. So, the best answer is infectious disease. Okay? When the micro invades already, may tissue damage na ba? May tissue damage ba siya, pasyente? Yes or no? Yes. So, positive siya sa tissue damage. So, positive, it's letter B. Naiintindihan siya, children? Naiintindihan, nurses? Perfect, perfect. Gumagana bang utak? Gumagana? Matalino na ba? Matalino? Matalino? Okay, very good. Now, si Nurse Dex, okay, huwag niyo sabihin kay Sir Dexter niyo ha, okay, Nurse Dex explained to a student named Ramon that a client have a bacteria in the urinary tract infection without symptoms. For example, si Sir Dex nyo nagtuturo as clinical instructor sa kay Ramon. Tapos si Ramon na-assign sa ward. Tapos yung client, merong bacteria na nakikita sa urinary tract niya due to for example, nagka-urine, no? Nag-urine culture, for example. Okay? Sa amin dito, hindi urine yan. Urine, o, 'di ba? Urine, for example. So there is a bacteria in the urinary tract without symptoms. No. So what condition is this best described? May symptoms ba yung pasyente natin? May bacteria pero walang sign and symptoms, right? So ano nga yung classification natin pag may presence ng microorganisms pero walang tinatawag na sign and symptoms? Is it an infection or an infectious agent or an infectious disease process? What's the best answer? Very good. Are you sure? Letter B. Letter B, ano nga yung may active disease process ba siya? May sign and symptoms bang pasyente? As stated on the case, wala. Asymptomatic ba yung patient? Ano nga yung kung asymptomatic? Ano nga yung term natin kung asymptomatic? With clinical or no clinical evidence? Ano nga yung kung magsabi tayo ng asymptomatic? Ano nga yun? Kung symptomatic, ano nga yun? Kung as symptomatic, walang, as may asymptomatic, walang sign and symptoms. Pwede, no? Pwede. Asymptomatic, no? Or infection. So what would be the best answer? So it's either B, no? Or letter B or C. But specifically, it's letter C. That's correct. Okay? Because, ano nga, may presence ng bacteria pero walang symptoms yung pasyente. Medyo tricky, no? Pero, if we go back to the terms earlier, yung asymptomatic is walang sign and symptoms, no? No clinical evidence. So, between infection and asymptomatic infection, mas naging specific si letter C, no? So, that's a quite tricky question, okay? Try to check your Cogier books on fundamentals and infection control, no? So, letter C. Are we clear now? Naiintindihan? Medyo tricky, guys, no? Medyo tricky. Medyo na-tickle yung mind natin sa question na yon. Is it correct, guys? No? Yeah, C guy. Okay? Yeah. Okay? Very good. Next one, okay? The next one are the type or stages of infection, okay? What are the types and stages of infection, okay? Types and stages of infection. Okay. What are the types and stages of infection? Can you still remember what are the type and stages of infection that you could remember? What are the types and stages of infection? Can you remember si EPIC? Na-discuss nyo na ba guys? Wala pa. Nakadiscuss na ba kayo about infection, communicable disease, etc.? Hindi pa. This is a very common board exam question though. What do you think? What are the stages of infection that you could remember? Remember si Epic? Very good. Very good, AJ. That is your Epic, no? Si Epic, no? That is your Epic. So, the stages of infection, let's describe first. What are the two type of infection, okay? Two type of infections, okay? Primarily, no, yes, types of infection can be determined through a localized or ano kung nag-spread na siya sa other organs. That is, ano nga yung term natin kanina sa quiz natin? There is spread on the other parts of the body, specifically in your bloodstream. Very good. Systemic. So there are two types. It is either localized, no? Localized infection or systemic infection. So when we talk about localized, there is only limited to a defined area or organ. So nakabase lang siya sa isang organ, no? So either a boil, for example, na makikita mo yung redness or erythema, tenderness or swelling. For example, no, yung pasyente ko for example in the hemodialysis unit, pagkatapos nakita ko na yung site niya, no, may namumula na yung CVC niya, there is redness, there is tenderness, there is swelling. Kung tinatanong kong pasyente, "Ma'am, sir, is there any pain?" No? Is there any pain as of the moment? So kung may tinatawag na pain, may tinatawag na swelling or tenderness, that is what we call localized infection. But if, for example, nag-blood culture ako kasi nilalagnat na yung pasyente and there is a presence of a specific microorganism on the bloodstream of the patient, that is already a systemic infection. So we need, no, may tinatawag na sepsis, no? So may bacteria or may infection na siya sa kanyang blood. So we need to if there is a sepsis, kailangan na nating i-tap, no? May different later we'll discuss about the different stages of infection as well as a protocol. It depends on different institution but is a global adaptation in which I identify natin if SIRS na ba siya, SIRS 1 or level 1, level 2, or level 3 ang pasyente in terms of infection. Okay? So localized is an infection in a single organ, like a boil for example. But if nag-spread na siya all throughout the organs, like for example, yung pasyenteng may HIV that eventually blown into AIDS, for example, that is systemic infection. Okay? So, again, when we talk about localized infection that is spread only in a confined body area, okay? Confined only in a one body area. For example, your skin abscess, no? Your UTI or your pharyngitis or a localized wound infection. So kanina, nag-discuss tayo ng asymptomatic, symptomatic your infection, and your infectious agent. So now, there are two types of infection. It is either localized or systemic. So localized, confined area, like your skin abscess or boil, systemic, nag-spread na siya all through your body, through your bloodstream, and multiple organs such as your sepsis, your tuberculosis or HIV. Okay? So nag-spread na siya. So kung tinatawag na localized, no, only the microorganism just only penetrates, no, the tissue, for example. But no, there's no breakage, no. If you try to check your neutrophils, for example, as part of your white blood cells, for example, combat these microorganisms, and then if they try to invade only a localized part of the body, but if systemic bacterial infection, it's already spread through your bloodstream. So pumasok na yung tinatawag na microorganism sa inyong bloodstream that causes an infection. Okay? So again, localized infection into a specific part of the body, while systemic infection spread and damage the different parts of the body. Okay? So, what is the difference between local, no? Local and systemic. So, when we talk about local, again, it is confined to one area. Pakilagay sa notes, no? Kung local infection, we define it as a local or an infection is confined to a one area, while a systemic infection is already affecting the whole body, okay? Or multiple organs, no? Through your bloodstream, then it will affect the other parts of the body. In terms of its spread, no, paano siya nakakahawa? The key term is stays at one site. So, local, no? If you try to recall our concept earlier, resident flora, local, sa isang lugar, no? Sa isang lugar, stay at one side, that is local infection. But if the microorganism is already spread to your bloodstream, that is a systemic infection. Okay? Systemic infection. Ano yung mga sign and symptoms ng pasyenteng may localized infection? So there is already redness, swelling, no? Kung meron kang tinatawag na abscess or boil, redness or erythema, swelling, as well as pain, yung sabi ko sa inyo kanina, if I'm taking care of a patient dialysis and sa CVC site niya, merong redness, swelling, that is localized pa. Pero, pag nilalagnat na yung pasyente, nag-chills na yung pasyente at positive siya sa blood culture, merong presence ng mycobacterium, for example, or any bacteria, that is a systemic infection. So, what are the example of a local infection? So, infected cut, abscess, ear, or ear infection, for example, while your systemic is your sepsis, your malaria through your bloodstream, and influenza. Okay? In terms of severity, it is usually milder, yung tinatawag na local, because it is only confined in a specific area, while systemic, it's very serious. So other than sign and symptoms, it damage your organs. That's why it is very serious case. No? Later, if we talk about the different types of surgery in terms of urgency, no, we will define it as an emergent, no. If you try to recall your concept on peri-op, may emergency case, may tinatawag na different pa na types, no, of cases, no. So that is your local and systemic. Now let's try to identify if it's local or systemic. Infection is confined to one area. Answer: confined to one area, very good. you could write L or S, okay? Para mas madali. Okay? Para isang pindutan lang. How? Okay, now identify L or S. L or S, infection is confined. Infection is confined to one area. Very good, L. How about infection that affects multiple organ? Multiple organ, very good, S. How about bloodstream or blood is spread the microorganism? Very good, S. Ang pasyente is nagkaka-fever, fatigue, and chills na. And positive for blood culture. Very good. Systemic. May tinatawag na example niya is your sepsis, your influenza, your tuberculosis. Very good. S. How about it is usually milder because it's only on a localized area. Very good. How about if there is an infected cut, an abscess, or a boil? What is that? Localized or systemic? Very good. Master na ba natin si systemic and localized? Very good. Okay. So now, type of infection, a skin wound infected with bacteria and pus. What is the um other term for the pus? What is the other term for pus? Or your what do you call this? Or body fluids na due to infection. Starts with letter E. That is a common board exam question. Ano nga yung term? Ano nga yung term? Starts with letter E. Yung sa pus na pinuproduce during infection. Etiology. Very good. Malapit na lang, Lance. Malapit doon. Etiology is a cause, right? Etiology is a cause. Anong E? Oh, sir, ang hirap. Ano nga yon? Hala, very good, AJ. Great job and the group. Okay. Exudate. Nakalimutan na. What are the different types of exudate? Board exam question. What are the different types of exudate? If it's yellowish exudate. Ano nga yun? If blood, nag-discuss na kayo ng tinatawag na maternal and child. Pag dugo, color red. Anong exudate yon? Starts with letter S. Nakalimutan? Ano nga yung S na yon? Very good si Rosa. Very good. Sanguinous. Very good. Malapit na. Okay, very good. No, di ba? Masasabi mo, oh, bakit hindi ko na nakalimutan ko na yun First year yun na-discuss. No, your zero sanguinous. How about your yellowish? Ano nga yung yellowish? Start with letter P. Very good, Shane. Okay? Very good, Cyrene. That is a purulent exudate. Naalala nyo, nung first year kayo, or even when you chart, di ba? Nag-chart ka dyan, purulent discharge. Tapos hindi mo alam kung anong purulent, no? So that is pus forming, no? So a skin wound infected with bacteria, there is a presence of redness and pus around the wound that is local, no? Example, that is a local infection. But same bacteria entering, ano nga yun? Entering the bloodstream plus fever and widespread of sign and symptoms of an illness. Is it an S or an L? Ano nga yon? Very good. That is letter S. That is systemic infection, okay? Bacteria entering the bloodstream and causing fever and widespread. Now, let's be a sepsis champion. Are you ready? Are you ready to pass the top of the board exam, nurses? Bleed ready. Okay, bleed ready. Very good. Are you still okay, guys? Pwede kayong working break, okay? It's okay. You can eat. Okay? Because it's quite late earlier. Okay? It's okay? Bleed ready? Perfect. Okay? Now, question. A 25-year-old patient, Matet, okay? Si Matet has a small infected wound. So, encircle the word small. Si small laude. Okay? On the forearm, the area is red. So, checklist natin si localized, and si systemic. Okay? Para maalala. Okay? So, may tinatawag na infected wound on the forearm. Is it localized or systemic sa checklist natin? Is it confined in one area or in the bloodstream? Is it local or systemic? Local, 'di ba? L, check. Now, there is what we call red, warm, swollen, and tender. Is it check on the local? Check. The patient has no fever. Kung may fever ang pasyente, local or systemic? Very good. That is systemic, letter S. So in this case, the vital signs are normal. Meron lang siyang wound na na-infect sa kanyang forearm that is swollen and tender. So ano yung answer dito? What type of infection? Is it systemic? Meron ba sa bloodstream? Yes or no? No, 'di ba? Wala sign and symptoms. How about sepsis? Kumalat na ba siya sa bloodstream? May tinatawag na ba siya na fever? Yes or no? No. Okay? May tinatawag na ba siyang presence of bacteria in terms of blood culture? Pag-check mo, bacteremia is to identify if there is what we call presence of microorganisms in your bloodstream through blood culture. So is there a presence of microorganism in the blood? No. So the best answer is letter B. Tama. Okay, tama si letter B. Hindi si systemic. Naiintindihan? Na-apply na natin yung na-learn natin kanina. Okay, so it is a local infection confined in an area or presence with local signs of inflammation. Naiintindihan, guys? Tumalino na ba? Mas tumalino ba? Talino, tumalino ba? Okay. Na-analyze na ba natin yung questions? Very good. Okay. Now, Mang Inasal is a 60-year-old client admitted with a fever. May lagnat si Choi Inasal. Okay? So, L and S. Okay? Merong lagnat ang pasyente. Is it localized or systemic? Sa ating checklist, may fever ba ang pasyente? Tachycardia and weakness. L or C? L or S? L. Very good. S. Okay? Systemic. Okay? Meron na siyang tachycardia and weakness. And the blood culture shows bacterial growth. May Staphylococcus aureus sa kanyang blood or Haemophilus influenzae sa kanyang blood. For example, is it systemic or local? Very good, systemic. So what type of infection? So meron ba siyang wala ba siyang sign and symptoms? Meron. So eliminate si letter A. Most of you answered letter B. Okay? How about contact transmission? Eliminate? Hindi siya related sa question. Is it more on colonization or systemic infection? May sign and symptoms yung pasyente. Very good. The best answer is not letter B. Mali. Okay, mali si letter B. Okay? Not colonization, not on a confined area, but it spread into your bloodstream. So the best answer is letter C. Okay? Microorganism spread into your bloodstream or lymphatic tissue that cause generalized symptoms such as fever, chills, and tachycardia. Next question. Si patient Eba. Okay? Patient Eba has a urinary tract infection. Okay? May UTI si baby girl. Okay? May UTI si baby girl. After that, later the patient develops, okay? Develops a fever, flank pain, and chills, okay? So the patient develops flank pain and chills. So CL and CS, okay? What does the progression indicate? Ano yung indication nito? Is it a local infection only? So may UTI siya, may dysuria and frequency. So both may sign and symptoms. No, may sign and symptoms. Okay, pero dysuria, ano nga yung dysuria? Children, renal concept, dysuria. Ano nga yung dysuria, children? Very good. Painful urination. Okay? Painful urination. Later, the patient has a fever, flank pain, and chest or chills. So ano to? Is it a local infection? Nagka-fever ng pasyente? Yes or no? Yes, no? Nagka-sign and symptoms ng pasyente, nagka-fever, so eliminate si local infection. Okay? How about colonization? Is it on a single area despite the patient has flank pain? No. Is it only an allergic reaction? Anong indication? Bakit na nasabi mo na may infection yung pasyente and not allergic reaction? What do you think? What do you think na nasabi mong best choice is systemic infection compared sa allergic reaction? Very good. Cyrene and AJ, you're thinking. Because may tinatawag na fever, nilalagnat na yung pasyente. So instead of allergic reaction, the best choice is systemic infection. Naiintindihan? Naintindihan yung ating ano natin, task taking strategy. Nag-concept muna tayo, na intindihan muna natin yung concept, then we have what we have learned. Now, we could discuss on ourselves na, okay, ito dapat yung gawin ko. Wala siya sa concept na to, hindi siya align. So, dapat ko siyang i-eliminate. Naiintindihan? Compared na nag-answer ka na hindi mo inanalyze, no? Are you okay? Are you still learning? We still have 180, 170 students. Very good. Still consistent. Very good. Okay. Now, Mang Kanor was diagnosed with appendicitis and there is a localized right lower quadrant pain. Sir, nakita ko yung term na localized. Best answer, local infection. Mali! Kill. Okay, kill. Okay, nag-jump ka naman into conclusion. Ano yung mga sign and symptoms ng pasyente na na-consider mo yung pasyente is despite it is a localized right lower quadrant pain due to appendicitis, na ma-considered mo na siya na hindi siya localized but already a systemic. What do you think? After the rupture, no, may rupture siya na appendicitis, or appendix, sorry, the patient develops fever, hypotension, and abdominal rigidity. Is this a symptom or localized? Systemic ba or localized if may fever yung pasyente? What do you think? Very good. It is positive for systemic infection. Kasi nag-rupture na yung kinatawag na appendix, di ba? Sa appendix natin ay tinatawag na accessory organ. If that is an accessory organ, ano siya? Pag nag-rupture, there is a presence of what we call mga ficalit. Right? So may tinatawag na tai minsan, and it will spread into your peritoneum that could cause an infection. Okay? So develops fever, hypotension, and abdominal rigidity. Okay? Tandaan, common board exam question, appendicitis is right lower quadrant pain. Tandaan na, this is a common board exam question. Ano daw yung nafe-feel ng pasyente? Right lower quadrant pain. Even in NCLEX or even in other nursing examination, this is a very common exam question. Right lower quadrant pain that is localized, that is appendicitis. So in this case, is it systemic, localized, or contamination? Sir, kasi nag-rupture siya, pwedeng contamination. Ang tanong, best classification after the rupture. Okay? I do understand it's contamination, but it's asking in terms of the type. Okay? Non-infectious inflammation, bakit hindi na makonsider siya na na non-infectious? Okay? Because it's already infectious, because there is already in fever and hypotension. So what would be the best answer? As letter A. Mali. Okay? Letter A is mali. Okay? So, local infection, that is no. So, the best answer is systemic. Ruptured appendix, if you try to check your medical, surgical, and Brunner and Sudort, no? Ruptured appendix can lead, no? Because there is contamination. Yung term kanina na contamination in your peritoneal cavity, it could cause the bacteria to spread into the abdominal activity cavity and into your bloodstream. That could cause what we call your fever and eventually your hypotension, no? As venous return, no? So that is fever and hypotension. Naiintindihan, guys? Naiintindihan si local and systemic, very common question sa board exam, okay? So now, what is the term if we try to culture a person's blood and there is a presence of microorganisms? That's the letter B. Ano nga yun? Ano nga yun? Anong term nga in terms na may tinatawag na positive, na tinatawag na person's blood has a presence of microorganism? Ano nga yun? Start with letter B. Neneng B. Ano nga yun? Start with letter B, children. Sir, mahirapan kami sa mga terms. Basic lang to, guys. Okay, very good, Michelle. Okay, nandiyan na sa slides. Okay, that is bacteremia. Okay, bacteremia, there is presence, no, kung mag-blood culture and sensitivity. Okay, baka may encounter nyo yung term na culture and sensitivity, CNS, no? Culture and sensitivity, there is a presence of what we call bacteria or microorganism in the blood of the patient. Okay? While bacteremia is a presence, no, a presence of microorganism into the blood, okay, and there is already transmission through your blood stream, no, bacteremia that leads to, no, contamination or what we call infection into your blood that could cause systemic infection. That is what we call your septicemia or septic na yung pasyente. For example, recently I have a patient that had doon parang nag-travel siya sa Europe. Pagkatapos pagbalik niya, meron na siyang mga sign and symptoms, inuubo, masakit yung tiyan, nagpupupo, tapos kumuha ako ng blood culture sa pasyente, and then yung pasyente, other than na nagpupupo siya, may tinatawag na siya ng fever, no? Nilalagnat niya yung pasyente, pagkatapos inuubo. Tapos yung blood pressure ng pasyente bumababa. So that is an indication that the patient is already septic. So kailangan i-hydrate yung pasyente. Okay? Even the patient is still on dialysis. So that is septicemia. There is what we call presence of microorganisms into the blood of the patient through blood culture and sensitivity that spread already into your multiple organs. Okay? Septicemia. Okay? So another term is acute and chronic. I know you already know this by heart and memorize this by heart. Sudden is acute and chronic, occurs a very long period of time. Okay? Acute is sudden, while chronic is very long period of time. That could last for years or months or years, no? So that is what we call your chronic infection. Okay? So it's very important to break, no? The chain of infection is to do what? What should we do in terms to prevent the spread of microorganisms? That is through, very good, hand hygiene. Okay? Hand hygiene. Now, what is the term in which there is an infection that originate in the hospital? Ano nga yung term natin? Within 48 hours probably? That is what we call your HAI or hospital acquired infection. Okay? HAI or your hospital acquired infection. This we will discuss that later or further later, no, in terms of the different types of nosocomial infections, okay? Or hospital, that is the new term. It's HAI or hospital acquired infection. So for example, yung E. coli, if there is a presence of E. coli on your urinary tract due to improper catheterization without performing a septic technique, the patient could have what we call your CAUTI, or what we call your CAUTI, or what we call your catheter associated urinary tract infection. Okay? Very common, no? Na nangyayari sa mga pasyente natin post-operatively. Okay? Tandaan, this is a very common, no? Common board examination question. Si VRE and si MRSA. Sir, ano ba yung mga methicillin resistant strains or mga vancomycin? Yung vancomycin or your methicillin are usually your broad spectrum antibiotic. So ano nangyayari? Mga pasyenteng long-term patient, for example, I have a patient who is a long-term patient. She already had her dialysis for already 20 years. No, can you imagine? Yung mga pasyente ko in dialysis, meron akong 94 years old na pasyente. Can you imagine na despite that they have their renal problem, they still sustain? The advantage of working here, to be honest, or either in abroad is libre. Yun lang talaga. Libre, your medications nila libre, yung dialyzers ng pasyente libre. So, ano nangyari? Long term. And yung ibang patients na in a long-term facility have a GI problem, for example. So, binibigyan sila ng nagkaka-resistance na sila sa ibang antibiotic. So, yung last resort would be giving them broad-spectrum antibiotic like your vancomycin and your methicillin, for example. Kaya, sa long-term use nila ng vancomycin, they could have your resistant. So that is what we call your VRE or your vanco resistance or vancomycin resistant strain, or VRE or MRSA or methicillin resistant strain, no? Na Staphylococcus, yung SA means Staphylococcus aureus, no? So methicillin resistant strain of Staphylococcus aureus or vancomycin resistance enterococcus, no? So enterococcus ito yung E, no? So because of improper hand hygiene or improper dressing technique, it could cause na magka surgical site infection. That is also one of a nosocomial infection, your MRSA or VRE. So, if the patient is having MRSA or VRE, ano yung tawag natin in terms of the standard base precaution? Ano yung tawag natin in terms of transmission-based precaution? Any idea? We discussed that earlier. If, for example, improper handling ng dressing, what do you think is that term? What type? Is it airborne precaution, droplet precaution, or contact precaution? Very good, Angel. That is your contact precaution. So ano yung ginagawa natin if there is contact precaution? Anong dapat i-wear ng nurse? Kung may contact precaution, very good, gloves, and kulang, Cyrene, you did a great job. And Angel, that is gloves and gown. Okay? So your gloves and gown. Okay? So later, we'll discuss about the personal protective equipment, or tomorrow. Okay? I think it's already 5:39 there. So we'll try to tackle, I think, by 6, we'll just end, no? Probably at least a 4 hours. Depende. If you're still okay, I'm okay to discuss, to be honest. I don't have a duty. If you still want to learn, just tell me, okay? Sir, overload na kami or ganyan. Sabihan nyo lang ako. Walang kaso, okay? Next one, this is a very common. Now, we will not discuss that one, no? Much, but this is an overview of the different diseases or infection that could be cause nosocomial infection. So a disease is another term that is alteration in the normal tissue function, no, 'di ba? At first, magsasabi natin na, uy, infection lang yun. Pero yung infection, it's more on the sign and symptoms. But if you coin the term disease, there is already alteration in the normal tissue function. Okay? There is a disease process. Okay? Virulence, okay, is the ability to produce a disease, no? Ilagay nyo sa notes nyo sa mga key terms dyan. Virulence, no? Saan natin magagamit yung term na virulence? To produce a disease if the patient is having a communicable disease, for example, the ability to produce or to contaminate a disease process or a tissue damage, no? That is virulence. Very common sa pasyenteng may HIV, AIDS. Okay? Next term, an infectious agent transmitted from one individual to another through direct, indirect, or through airborne that could cause a disease condition or a disease process. Ano nga yung term natin? An infectious agent or a causative agent, yung term natin kanina, that could be transmitted from one individual to another through direct contact, indirect contact, airborne, or droplet that will eventually cause a disease condition is termed as, ano nga yung term na to? Very common board exam question. The causative agent that is transmitted to an individual through either direct, indirect, or airborne that could cause a disease condition. Part of your part of your community health nursing. Sorry, what's the best answer? Anong answer natin? That is, nakalimutan. That is your, let's start with letter C, children. Communicable disease. Nakalimutan na. Nakalimutan, infectious agent that can be transmitted to an individual through direct or indirect, airborne or droplet that could cause a disease condition. That is communicable disease. Alo, nakalimutan yung term. So, these are diseases caused by an infectious agent, no? From one person to another. So, the causative agent, it is either a bacteria, like your tuberculosis, your viruses, your COVID-19, your fungi, or your ringworm, your parasites, and your prions. Okay? So, don't worry, no? So, we will discuss that each, no? So, the ability to produce a disease. Ano yung term? What is the ability to produce a disease process? That is what we call your pathogenicity. Okay? Pathogen is a microorganism that causes a disease or the causative agent. Okay? The ability to produce a disease is what we call pathogenicity. Okay? So mga common key terms natin. And what is the susceptible individual that usually have a disease is what we call an opportunistic pathogen. Okay? A disease process that is nearly transmitted to a susceptible individual is what we call opportunistic pathogens. For example, what is the difference between a through pathogens and opportunistic pathogens? Okay? Okay na tayo, guys? Naintindihan pa? Carry pa, carry pa. Carry. Very good. So now, let's differentiate between the true pathogens and the pathogens or opportunistic. So, yung tinatawag na true pathogens, these are organisms that always cause a disease in a healthy individual. No? So, it is usually occur in a healthy individual. But, if ang infection na transmit through a immunocompromised patient. Like for example, yung pasyenteng may tinatawag na HIV, pagkatapos ubo ka ng ubo, no? So, na-transmit mo yung ubo mo sa pasyente, it could cause them na magka-infection like your Cariniae, no? Your opportunistic infection sa pasyente, na your Cariniae, for example, that is what we call opportunistic pathogens. But if ang organism that cause a disease only occur in an healthy individual, that is a true pathogen. Okay? It is always pathogenic, okay, that caused a disease to an individual or an immunocompromised immunocompetent. Okay? Tandaan, immunocompetent ang pasyente, meaning healthy individual. Hindi siya immunocompromised, no? So healthy individual is immunocompetent, okay? In fact, normally healthy individuals, good example for true pathogens are your tuberculosis, your Salmonella typhi, your measles, and your Streptococcus pathogens. Okay? And our preventive measures is always your hand hygiene. In terms of your opportunistic pathogens, these are organism usually does not cause a disease in healthy, tandaan na, in healthy individuals, but it could cause a disease in a weak or incompromised patient. So, nagkukos ka ng infection sa immunocompromised patient. Like, anong very common na example? If the patient is having HIV AIDS, no, ang very prone ang pasyente sa tinatawag na Candida albicans or mouth thrush, for example. Kasi immunocompromised na ang pasyente, may sinuboy ang pasyente na may nagko-contain ng Candida albicans because immunocompromised na yung kanyang oral mucosa, it could cause an infection, no? Your E. coli, no? Staphylococcus epidermidis and your Pseudomonas aeruginosa. Okay? So again, that is the difference between your opportunistic and your through pathogens. Now, what are the stages? So we discuss about the different terms. So alam na natin, okay? So na-identify na natin si local and si systemic. Now, this is a very common board exam question. What are the stages of what we call infection? So it includes the IPIC, okay? Epic, tandaan, okay? So we will have a short name, okay? Short name to check if you're really an sepsis champion, okay? So now, what are the stages of infection? So in terms of stages of infection, this is uh what you call through Brunner and so sorry, it's Hozier, no, and Potter and Perry book in terms of stages of infection. So first one, if the patient, no, the patient or the host, no, the pathogen enters the body, but the patient has no sign and symptoms, that is what we call signs of incubation period. So for example, ako si baby boy and then may nurse ako, may friend akong si baby girl. Si baby girl ay may tinatawag na tuberculosis. Pagkatapos umubo si baby girl. Na-expose ako sa ubo ni baby girl na Mycobacterium tuberculosis pumasok sa ilong ko then into my respiratory system. Pero upon introduction to the pathogen, wala akong nafe-feel na any sign and symptoms. That is what we call incubation period. The pathogens enters to the body and the patient doesn't experience no symptoms or non-evident or no clinical evidence. Naiintindihan sa incubation period. Okay? Like for example, si leprosy or si AIDS, it will take time despite na nag-sexual intercourse ka sa ibang tao, for example. This is hypothetical. Pagkatapos, hindi ka naggamit ng any condoms, for example. Pagkatapos, na-expose ka sa virus but wala ka pang may nafe-feel na sign and symptoms, no? So that is what we call the incubation period. That for AIDS based in literature, it could be earlier or longer. So in some literature, like in Brunner or in Potter and Perry, it indicates that AIDS could last 1 to 8 years. Or even your cholera will take 2 to 3 days. So that's the incubation, introduction of microorganism, and you don't feel any sign and symptoms. Next, upon entry, medyo nafe-feel ko na medyo nilalagnat ako ng konti, pero medyo may sinat ako, medyo paubo na ako and all. So medyo may vague general symptoms yung pasyente. So that is what we call prodromal stage or period. Naiintindihan? Naiintindihan ba, children? There is no specific sign and symptoms, but there is a mild discomfort. Okay? So, upon introduction ng bacteria sa katawan ko, may nafe-feel akong konting lagnat, may konting ubo, but it's vague or general symptoms. Now, after the next day, nilagnat ako, umubo ako, nagka-sputum ako na blood tinge. So that is what we call the peak or the full-blown symptoms. That is what we call the peak, no? Parang mountain, no? Katulad kanina ng ating epidemic, endemic, no? Sa graph, no? So, sa start, no? Si baby boy, ito yung symptoms, walang symptoms. Tapos, unti-unting nagkaka-symptoms, that is prodromal peak. May nafe-feel na ang baby boy. Nauubo na siya, nagka-blood tinge na naubo, may blood na yung ubo ko at nilalagnat na ako, that is the illness stage. Okay? Then, unti-unting na di-decline yung sign and symptoms in some literature, that is the decline stage. Nawawala na yung sign and symptoms kasi uminom ka na ng gamot, for example, and until the patient is on recovery or achieving the optimum level of functioning or normal health, that is convalescence or convalescent. Okay? Is it clear, guys? Naiintindihan na ba natin ang stages ng infection? Grabe, no? Nung college tayo, hindi natin masyadong na i-embrace yung mga concept na to. Ngayon, ala, grabe no? Ano, alam lang natin infection, infectious disease, but hindi natin alam na there are stages pala ng infection, no? So, now, what are the stages of infection? Ano nga yung code natin? I-unlock natin yung code natin sa stages of infection, IPIC. Para madaling tandaan, si IPICC, incubation, prodromal, si illness, and si convalescence. Now, question, what stage of infection that the patient doesn't experience no sign and symptoms? No sign and symptoms. No sign and symptoms. Very good. I. Very good. Shortcut lang tayo. Kaya natin yan. So, I. Very good. Just type in IPIC. Okay? Pili ka lang dyan. Doon. Okay? How about that's the peak or full-blown symptoms? Full-blown symptoms. Very good. That is your 3. Okay? That is your illness. Very good. 3. That is your illness. How about, there is a vague general symptoms. May konting kang ubo at lagnat. Konting ubo. Very good. Prodromal. How about na-achieve mo na yung level of functioning? Normal health. Very good. That is your convalescence. Naiintindihan ba? Naiintindihan? Very good. Now, identify si Epic, Epic, Epic. Na-expose ako kay baby girl na may TB. Na-expose ako kay baby girl na may TB, wala akong sign and symptoms. Na-expose ako kay baby girl na may tuberculosis para walang sign and symptoms. Nagkalagnat ako ng konti, wala akong masyadong sign and symptoms pa. Wala akong masyadong sign and symptoms. Nurse, parang nilalagnat ako ng konti. Okay, very good. That is prodromal. Nurse, umuubo ako ng may dugo. Umuubo ako ng may dugo. Anong answer? Very good. That is illness. I feel free. I feel free. I feel free. Wala na akong ubo. I'm perfect. Okay? Very good. That is convalescence. Very good. Naintindihan ba? So again, in terms of your incubation period, there is no symptoms yet. Okay? No symptoms. Is it possibly contagious? Possible. No? May posibilidad na magiging contagious yung disease process. Prodromal, there is a vague symptoms, no? Medyo may nararamdaman ka na. And during the prodromal, it's highly contagious, okay? Highly contagious. Illness, specific symptoms, nasa peak. No, tandaan si illness, nasa peak ka na ng sign and symptoms. Nasa peak ka na ng sign and symptoms. Is it highly contagious? Yes. And during the recovery phase, no, sometimes it could be contagious, but you're already achieving your optimal level of functioning. You're all off, okay? Hindi si Olof na but si optimum level of functioning. Okay? Naintindihan ba? Naintindihan? Now, let's have Recall. Who is the proponent nga ng CDC? Who is the proponent ng CDC? Very good. Si John. Si John na walang malay. Okay? Si Joseph or si John? Si Joseph or si John? Okay, si Joseph. Okay? Very good. How about what type of surveillance in which there is a constant? Constant. Very good. How about sometimes meron, sometimes wala, sometimes meron, sometimes wala. Very good. That is sporadic. Medyo may peak yung ating curvature ng ating graph. May peak from 10, naging 50. Very good. Epidemic. From Asia to the rest of the world. O, di ba? Bongga. Pandemic. How about what type of term in which there is no sign and symptom? L or S? No sign and symptoms. L or S? No sign and symptoms. Very good. Localize. How about boil. Very good. L. How about there is fever. Very good. S. How about stage of infection? There is no symptoms. No symptoms. Very good. Recovery phase. Perfect. How about there is the peak of sign and symptoms? Peak of sign and symptoms. How about medyo vague yung sign and symptoms? Medyo lang. Very good. Very good. Very good. Did you master now yung infection control? Di ba perfect? Matalino. Ay, iba siya, oh. Matalino na si baby girl at si baby boy. Okay? Matalino na ba? Very good. Okay, I'm so happy for that heart. Okay, yung stages ng infection is katulad ng isang heartbreak. A journey that hurts, but healing is possible. During the incubation stage, di ba? This is the exposure of feeling. Ano na-feel mo during incubation period? So, you feel, I don't feel anything yet, but something is coming. So, magbe-break pa lang kayo. No? Parang feelings, no? So, you feel anxious, you feel uncertain, I don't feel anything yet, but something is coming. That is the incubation period. So, during the prodromal stage, early, vague, and non-specific symptoms, no? And it is highly contagious. So, anong nafe-feel mo during the prodromal stage kung nagka-heartbreak ka na? So, I feel off and something is not right, no? So, parang nilalagnat ako na parang masama yung pakiramdam ko. That is prodromal stage. During the illness, I feel the pain. I feel the suffering. I feel the fear. This is the worst. I just want to end everything. Di ba? May ganung drama, no? So that is the illness stage, no? That is disease specific, no? And the convalescence, no? That is the time that I'm getting better. I am stronger than every day. So convalescent, feeling of relief and gratitude, no? So, you feel better. That is convalescent. So, yung feelings natin during a breakup is the same with the stages of infection. Nagigets? Nuggets? Nagigets ba natin? Nagiget? Nagigets ba? Clear ba as CSF? Clear? Okay, very good. Next one, this is only an overview. Again, incubation, infectious agent that affects tissue and multiplies into the body organ that could cause infection. So, it is invisible. So, pakilagay sa notes para mas maalala natin yung incubation period, that is the interval from the entry of the pathogens until the appearance of the signs and symptoms, okay? And these organisms are already multiplying and the patient is somehow contagious, more likely, and there is no symptoms yet. So, wala ka pang nararamdamang sign and symptoms. That's why, yung tawag natin sa incubation period is the invisible period, okay? Or the invisible symptoms para madali nating tandaan, okay? So, example, no, common colds, 1 to 3 days pa, measles, 7 to 14 days, that is the incubation before you will experience the sign and symptoms, okay? So, now, the prodromal, okay, the infectious agent already invade and multiply in the tissue organ. So, what is our key term for the prodromal period? That is what we call your preliminary. Para matandaan, kung si incubation is invisible, si prodromal may tinatawag na preliminary. Papasok pa lang ang sign and symptoms, which is early, vague, and non-specific. Okay? And take note, yung pasyente during the prodromal period is highly contagious. Okay? Preliminary pa lang yun, pero highly contagious na yung pasyente. So, the patient may experience body malaise or weakness, fatigue, and low-grade fever. Okay? Medyo pa lang, low-grade pa lang. Okay? Next one is the peak, okay, of the infection. Okay? Time that the client has specific signs and symptoms. Okay? Are you still okay, children? As of the moment, we have 165. Probably some are having lunch or dinner, sorry. It's already 11 here in Dublin. So, hopefully. Just tell me, guys, ha? Okay? So, wala naman kayong class tomorrow. Okay? So, just tell me. Okay? Time when the client has specific sign and symptoms, there is an infection or process. Okay? So, during the illness stage, that is what we call your acute symptoms or the most severe, no? Na-experience natin yung peak of the illness, okay? Or the disease specific sign and symptoms. And what is the patient, ano yung makikita natin sa patient? The patient is obviously ill, no? So nakikita na nating umuubo yung pasyente, mayroon na siyang body weakness, mayroon siya na-feel na pain, no? And this is also the peak of infection. So for example, yung pasyenteng na-expose sa tinatawag na rubella or other kinds of infection, nagka-measles yung pasyente and there is a generalized rush, that is the peak of the illness. Or if the patient has coughing out of blood or hemoptysis, that is already tuberculosis, that is the peak of the symptoms or illness stage. Naiintindihan, children? Naiintindihan? Master na ba natin? Master na natin? Very good. Next is the convalescence or the recovery or coming back. Okay? I'm coming back. Di ba? May kantang ganon. No, I'm coming back. Recovery stage or symptoms begins to disappear, okay? And the tissue repair occurs and strength is gradually returned, okay? So the recovery stage and the symptoms begin to disappear and tissue repair and strength gradually return. So medyo wala ka ng sign and symptoms at pagaling ka na. That is the coming back season. So for example, lumabas na yung pre-board examinations mo and medyo na-feel mo na, sir, medyo mababa yung score ko. So you need to be back on your game. Coming back on the convalescent stage, no? Kailangan mong bumalik, mag-aral ulit, and mag-top sa board exam. Okay? So that is the stages of infection. So, okay, before we'll tackle another topic, we'll just have a short activity again. Okay? Be the next sepsis champion. Okay? So, incubation period, ano nga yung key term natin sa incubation period? Just to check, temperature check, what is the incubation period nga? That is from, very good, introduction of microorganisms to until the predominantly there is no sign and symptoms, right? How about your prodromal? Ano yung prodromal stage? Ano nga yung prodromal stage natin? Ano yung key terms natin? Very good. There is what we call vague. Very good, John. There is a vague sign and symptoms. Okay? Vague sign and symptoms. Your illness. How about your illness stage? Ano yung illness? Very good, AJ. That is the peak of the illness. Peak of the illness and convalescence is what we call, ano nga yung convalescence? Very good. That is, starts with letter R. Ano nga yung ating convalescence? Very good. That is your recovery. Okay? So that is your epic. Okay? Now, let's play another game. Okay, let's play another game. This is what we call your deal or no deal. Okay, deal or no deal. Are you excited, class? Is it a deal or no deal? Still there, still there. Pakisulat nga ng pangalan, MRN. Pakisulat nga ng pangalan, MRN. This is for deal or no deal. The infection control edition. Okay, John, still there. AJ is still there. Monkey Power. I know. Sir, dali na. Sir, ka niya. Punta kami. Okay, Shakira, Rose, Shane, Beatrice, Rachel. Okay, USRM, Michelle. Okay, Jean, and the rest of the team. Very good. Okay. Johnson, very good. Now, let's have our first game. So, we will have different level. If you answer it correctly, no, magpapa-Gcash si Miss Joya. Okay? Okay. Next one. Is it a deal or no deal? Okay. Question number 1 is worth $1 o 50, magkano na ngayon? 60 pesos. Okay? Deal or no deal? Okay? No deal. Thank you, Miss Joya. Okay. No deal muna. So, situation. The nurse needs prevention of infection and protect body defenses. The nurse role is assessing the sign and symptoms of localized and systemic infection, developing relevant diagnosis for the clients, risk planning, implementing nursing intervention, and evaluating client outcomes. Sir, ganun ba talaga sa board exam? Yes, there are situations. Have you noticed, naglalagay ako ng case and situation para at least you need to be prepared. Sir, madami bang babasahin? Yes. That's why I teach you na even though there is a lot of context, you need to focus on what's the main problem of the question. No? So question number 1, in terms of stages of infection, a client, okay, si Mang Kanor, for example, was exposed to influenza. 2 days later, there is no symptoms present yet, but the virus is actively multiplying. Okay? So, tandaan natin, si I, P, I, C. Okay? So, balikan natin yung concept natin. The client is exposed to influenza. What stage? Introduction of microorganism to sign and symptoms. Is it I, D, I, C? I. Oh, wait muna. May present ba ng sign and symptoms? No symptoms? I, D, I, C. I, D, I, C. May sign and symptoms ng pasyente? Wala. So, letter I, right? I. Next, the symptoms is actively multiplying, possibly during the incubation period. So the best answer, ano nga yung prodromal? Anong key term? What stage of infection? Ano nga yung comprodromal? Ano nga yung kung sinasabi natin prodromal? That is the vague sign and symptoms, right? So dito pa lang, vague. Very good. Anong illness nga? Ang illness is what we call your very good. Peak na ng sign and symptoms. How about yung convalescence? Ano nga yun yung convalescence? There is already recovery. So what's the best answer? Incubation. Naintindihan guys, na-a-apply nyo ng learn natin. Hindi pure identification. I hate that. Hindi ka nagtithink. I don't like the questions, no? So, dapat may scenario in which we are preparing you nurses na kung nasa battlefield na kayo ng nursing hospitals or community, alam nyo kung paano i-tackle or with your knowledge, alam nyo na kung anong gagawin. So, yun yung priority natin ngayon. So, incubation is a period that the time between the pathogens appear but there is no clinical symptoms. Ano nga yung without clinical evidence? Ano nga yung term natin? Very good. That is asymptomatic or symptomatic? Asymptomatic or symptomatic? Answer. Very good. That is asymptomatic. Very good. Now, for $10, diba? Magkano na to? 1,000. Okay. Deal or no deal? Situation. A client reports fatigue. Medyo napapagod ako, medyo may mild fever ako, and medyo nananakit yung katawan ko, no? 'Di ba? May drama. Before developing a full flu symptoms. What stage of infection the client is in? Is it the incubation period? May sign and symptoms ba ang pasyente sa EPIC? May sign and symptoms ba ang pasyente? Very good. So kung may sign and symptoms, eliminate na ba si letter I? Very good. So eliminate. Is it an acute illness? Possible. But we're asking about the stage. Is it part of the stage? No. Is it already on the recovery phase? Very good. So the best answer is letter D. Letter D, mali. It's letter B. It's prodromal stage. Naintindihan, children? Pa-virtual clap naman dyan. Just to check if everyone is still awake, thinking. Very good, very good, very good. Okay, very good. Matalino na ba? Mas tumalino na? Tumalino na ba? Very good. I love the confidence. Okay? Next, so prodromal is a non-specific symptoms when the client is most contagious. That is on Cogier's book. Next one, $100. Okay? $100. Okay? For $100. So a patient with pneumonia, okay, develops a high fever. So ano na to? May sign and symptoms bang pasyente? IPIC? IPIC. May symptoms ba yung pasyente? Very good, may sign and symptoms na. So eliminate si incubation. High fever. Is it low-grade fever, high fever, productive cough? May high fever ba yung pasyente? Is it vague or it's already the peak of infection? Nahirapan na yung pasyente mo huminga. May dyspnea na, may DOB. Ano ba yun? Ano pa yun? Prodromal? Ay, vague lang yan, sir. Kaya niya yan. No. Is it recovery stage or illness stage? What's the best answer? Very good. The best answer is letter B. Mali. Okay, letter B is mali. The best answer is letter C. Okay? That is the illness stage. Okay? How many of you got the correct answer? Paklap naman dyan. Paklap naman ang reaction dyan. If you got the correct answer, if you analyze the question properly, very good. Next question. Okay, so illness stage is characterized by full manifestation of the disease specific symptoms. Okay, for $2, ay bumaba, sir. Okay, next, a client, si baby girl is recovering. Okay, anong key term natin? Recovering, sir. Are you sure? Basahin ko muna. Very good. A client recovering from a bacterial infection and ano yung sign and symptoms niya? Nag-recover na ba siya sa sign and symptoms? Yes. Ano yung nangyari sa pasyente after? Nag-improve ba yung well-being ng pasyente? May appetite na ba siya? Yes. And may fever pa ba siya? Wala na masyado. Decrease yung fever. So anong stage na ng infection yung pasyente? Is it incubation? Is it only introduction of microorganism? Yes or no? Yes. So eliminate. Mali sa incubation. How about medyo, sir, kasi answer ko decreasing fever, medyo vague siya, hindi mo binasa, baby girl. May tinatawag na improve appetite, di ba? So, eliminate si prodromal, okay? Sir, kasi nakita ko may fever, is it high fever? Okay? Or low fever? Or decreasing fever? So, it's a decreasing fever, so eliminate si illness. So, the best answer is convalescent. Tama. Okay? Tama si convalescent. Okay? Nagigets ba? Nagigets? Nagigets ba, chicken nuggets? Okay? Some of you are still eating in McDonald's. Clap naman dyan who rationalize things correctly, appropriately, intelligently, and scholarly. Okay, very good. Okay, ang tatalino. I love it. I love it. Next one. For €1, okay, dapat ibandera ang Europe, okay? And €1, okay, for those interested in Europe, A nurse notes that the client is most contagious even before the obvious symptoms. A nurse notes the client is most contagious even before the obvious symptoms. What is this? Incubation, prodromal, acute, or convalescence? What is the best answer? Most contagious? Okay. Letter B. Okay, ano nga yun? Highly contagious ang ating question kanina. Is it incubation or prodromal? Hala, nakalimutan. Nalagay natin sa notes yung kanina. B. Gali. John answered earlier. Yeah. Remember, sa notes natin kanina, highly contagious. Hala, baby girl, baby boy. Ang bilis naman magka-amnesia. The nurse notes that. And the question is just asking the most contagious. Oo, sir, naalala ko kasi incubation, may time. Yes, okay. But the question is, what stage is highly contagious, no? Before the symptoms appear. That is the prodromal, okay? So prodromal is a stage of non-specific and the transmission is at high risk, okay? That is based on the CDC infection control guidelines as well as on your COGIR book, okay, and fundamentals. Now, this is what I mean. If there is a presence of what we call infection and there is a presence of microorganisms in your bloodstream, no, systemic inflammatory response due to a growing infection has entered. Take note ha, pumasok na yung bacteria sa ating bloodstream and nag-leak na through your blood vessel that affects already your organ that could possibly cause death because of multi-organ dysfunction. That is what we call sepsis. Tandaan, this is a common board exam question as well as NCLEX question. So ano yung sign and symptoms? Anong yung nafe-feel ng pasyente na may sepsis? Okay? So the patient either has increased or decreased in temperature. It's either hyper or hypothermia. There is a tachypnea or chest tightness or either difficulty of breathing, tachycardia, increase in cardiac rate, and hypoxia due to decreased supplement or oxygen supplement through the brain due to multi-organ damage, no? So that is what we call sepsis. Nag-leak or nag-spread na yung infection not only in a specific organ system, but it's already spread into your bloodstream that travel to the different parts of the body. That's why we are preventing sepsis. Okay? So that is sepsis. So may tinatawag na increase in temperature, may tinatawag na tachypnea, may tinatawag na tachycardia, and decrease in blood supply sa utak ng pasyente na nagkukos ng death or arrest. Naiintindihan, children? Naiintindihan as sepsis warriors? Naiintindihan? Pakiklap naman kung naiintindihan si sepsis. Very good. Very good. Very good. Okay, next. That is a systemic, okay? So it is a systemic inflammatory response that entered to your blood that threatens your organs, and the patient might lead to death or septic shock. Because ano nga yung septic shock? Nag-multi-organ damage na or nag-shutdown na yung mga organs natin, either your liver, your lungs, your heart, your brain, etc. Because nga nag-spread na yung microorganisms sa different parts of the body. Okay? So, anong indication if there is sepsis? So, anong dapat i-check mo sa blood? Sa other than the blood culture, kukuha ka ng CBC in which there is an indication if the white blood cell is elevated as a part of its, di ba, maalala natin, anong yung effect ng ating white blood cell? It has a phagocytic effect. Ano kung sinasabing phagocytic effect? Ini-engulf niya, kinakain niya yung microorganisms, right? So there is an abnormal in white blood cells production or either decrease in white blood cells, elevated lactate, no? That's why it causes the pain or soreness in the patient, coagulation abnormalities, the blood, if you try to check the coag or the blood, the bleeding time of the patient. It's quite prolonged or either decreased, no? So these are the different lab changes that we need to check if the patient is having sepsis or may tinatawag na infection sa dugo ng pasyente. Okay? So again, in terms of sepsis, the microorganisms will enter into your bloodstream through your blood. The bacteria will enter into your bloodstream to your blood. Then sometimes the blood vessels might rupture, that causing the leakage of what we call your blood vessels or your blood, and these microorganisms will spread to the different parts of the body. That could cause your organ dysfunction or multiple organ dysfunction that would cause decrease in supply in the brain, that could cause hypoxia and eventually cause a shock or a septic shock. Okay? So, these are the sepsis stages. Now, this is only an overview. Sir, usually for NCLEX na mga atake ito. But hindi natin alam, baka lalabas sa board exam natin in terms of stages of infection. Kasi alam natin na board exam is considered book-based, no? So, dapat nating malaman, no? Still, what are the stages of sepsis or infection? So, the first step or the first stage is what we call your SIRS or SIRS or Systemic Inflammatory Response Syndrome. So, the patient might experience increase in temperature or hyperthermia or hypothermia, and we need to check the white blood cell of the patient. It's either increase or decrease, and the respiratory rate, the heart rate might increase or might increase on that stage. So, makikita mong manifestation ng pasyente, vague na siya. There is a vague manifestation sometimes, no, during the SIRS or systemic inflammatory response, no, mataas yung lagnat ng pasyente, hinihingal yung pasyente, mataas yung heart rate. So, indication na yan na septic yung pasyente. So, you need to be aware. In Europe, for example, we have what we call yung mga checklist namin in terms of checking if the patient is having like for example in dialysis, check if there is a infection or sepsis, no, para ma-alert yung doctors what would be the next protocol or management. That's why we need to identify what are the different stages of what we call sepsis. On the second stage or the sepsis stage, there is two or more criteria. It's either increase or decrease yung temperature, nag-increase ba ang white blood cell, nag-increase ba ang heart rate more than 20, or yung heart rate more than 90. And there is a suspected or confirmed infection. So, feeling mo, nakita mo yung pasyente, hala, yung pasyente ko mataas yung temperature niya, 38 degrees. Pagkatapos, nag-check ako ng bloods, mataas yung white blood cell. Pagkatapos, hinihingal yung pasyente. Pagkatapos, nakikita ko yung pasyente matamlay at nagsusuka. So, 2 SIRS criteria plus confirmed or suspected infection. The next stage is what we call severe sepsis. So, the patient has already sepsis, other two or more criteria, all of this criteria is checked, no? Pagkatapos, nakikitang may damage na yung organ, nag-check ka na ng blood culture mo, nag-check ka na ng tinatawag mo na clotting time, medyo prolonged. For example, nakita mo sa x-ray na medyo may damage na yung baga ng pasyente, nag-hypotensive na yung pasyente, and you to also check the lactate level of the patient. So, this is an indication that there is a severe sepsis, no? And if severe sepsis is not managed, it could cause damage on an organ, and it will eventually will cause severe shock. So, anong ginagawa natin? Pag ang pasyente is on the stage 4 na or severe shock, we usually adequate fluid. Sir, papainumin natin ang pasyente? Hindi. Mali. Okay? Alam mo ng pasyente mo, hinihingal na. Mataas ng heart rate, mataas ng RR. Pagkatapos mo lang ganang kumain, syempre, hindi tayo magbibigay ng tubig na papainumin in terms of hydration. But adequate fluids or your normal saline, for example. It depends on the electrolytes needed. Okay? I guess Sir already discussed, no, in terms of renal, no, si Sir Dan already discussed about the renal, about the different electrolytes, the different what they call this fluids needed. So on that stage, if the patient in severe shock, we need to adequately hydrate the patient. Okay, we need to hydrate the patient. Okay, so few slides left because it's already late. Okay, I'm not sure if Ma'am Joya is still in or they're already out. I'm not really sure. Hi, Ma'am
Sir,
Joya is still
andito
in.
po.
Hi, Ma'am Joya. Thank you very much. I'll have
Yay!
the last slides in terms of quiz, then we'll end siguro.
Carry
Okay?
Oo.
Thank you. Okay, now let's have the next sepsis champion. Okay, now let's have another game. Okay, family feud, the top nursing answers. Okay. Bakit pag-game sure, okay? Family feud, let's check, okay? Ang ating mga badlang okay? What's their top nursing answer? Now, name something a nurse immediately check after surgery. Any answers from the madlang people? Okay, any answers from the madlang people? You can open your mic. Okay. I think Shane answered vital signs. Okay, let's check. What's the primary immediate after surgery? That is... Ay, hindi pwede. Wait. The primary is... Okay. Vital signs. That is correct. Okay, the top is what we call airway. Okay, very good, Krista. And number two, sa base sa ating mga adlang people, that is your breathing or your airway are the same. Next is your vital signs. Very good. What do you think are the other things that we need immediately check after surgery? What do you think? Other than topic our sepsis earlier, okay. LOC, level of consciousness. Very good. Another one that is your very good. The surgical site. Very good. And your dressing. Okay. Next one. Name something removed before surgery. 10 seconds. Okay. Name something before remove surgery. Okay, remove before surgery. Very good. Some of you answered jewelry. So what would be the best or the top answer that we need to remove before surgery? That is jewelry. Why? Bakit kailangan natin i-remove yung jewelry? Children, because anong reason? Sir, wala lang. Gusto ko lang ma-remove yung jewelry. Bacteria, eyelashes, that's correct, Fairwin. Contamination, hala, nakalimutan nyo? Anong reason na kailangan i-remove yung jewelry? Basic principle sa chemistry. Safety. Very good, AJ. I cannot argue with that. Circulatory, hala. What do you think? Bakit? Harbor bacteria, that is we remove surgery, we remove jewelry before hand washing because it harbors bacteria. That's correct. But if the patient is for surgery, why we need to remove before surgery? Very good, Cyrene. That is to prevent na magka-burns ang pasyente or electrocution. Why? Gumagamit tayo ng cautery, right? Naalala nyo na nag-a-assist kayo, may cautery, right? Next, what will be the next? That is your dentures, right? Dentures. Why? Why we are removing your dentures before surgery? What do you think? Sir, wala lang. Bet ko lang siya para bungi siya. No. Ano kaya? Bakit? Anong reason? Very good. We are preventing the patient from having. Very good. That is your aspiration. Another one, nail polish. Why? Why kaya na kailangan nating i-remove yung nail polish? Very good, AJ. That is to check your capillary refill and to check the circulation. Baka yung pasyenteng naka-nail polish, color pink yung nail polish, pero yung pasyente namumutla na. Okay? Wala na palang oxygenation yung patient. Next one. Contact lens, okay? Yung tinatawag na fake eyelashes, okay? Baka makontaminate yung area, no? Makontaminate yung area. And then the last one would be your hearing aid, okay? Hearing aid. You could remove that one, no? Because it could not only contamination, baka maiwan during surgery. Okay? Next one, before we proceed, no, the last topic before we end, just an introductory concept about perioperative nursing. So when we talk about concept about surgery, what comes into your mind? It's operation, right? Operation. So, surgery is a branch of medicine that is concerned with the disease, di ba? Anong yung topic natin earlier as we define disease? That is alteration on the tissue, right? So, that is concerned with the disease or trauma that requires a procedure. So, this is a treatment to treat an injury, no? For example, nahulog ka sa stairs kasi nga nagsa-cellphone ka while drinking your coffee matcha, no? And then disease process and also deformity, no? For example, those children who have cleft palate, cleft lip, for example, so we treat them through surgery, okay? Through invasive procedure. Naiintindihan yung concept ng surgery? Paklap naman dyan kung naiintindihan natin. Very good, okay? So there are three phases of surgical experience. Ano yung three stages ng surgical experience? Ano nga yung three stages? Anong three stages? Your PIP. Ano nga yung P? Na first P, very good. That is your pre-operative. I is the intra-operative. And the P is the post-operative. Again, what are the phases of the perioperative surgical phases? Okay? Or the surgical phases experience. Ano nga yun? First is, very good, pre. The next is intra. And the last one is post-op. Okay? So in terms of your perioperative nursing, your pre is starts from the admission to the surgical unit, okay? Until the patient would be transported to the operating room, okay? So from the time that the patient agreed upon the surgery and he or she will be admitted to the surgical unit until he or she will be transported to the theater or the operating room, that is the pre-operative phase, okay? But during the pre-operative phase, admission to the surgical unit, we need to prepare the patient physically. So ano mga pre-op preparation natin physically? Children, ano yung mga pre-op preparation natin prior to surgery, children? Ano yung mga pre-op surgery? Very good. That is NPO. That is the diet of the patient. Ano pa? Ano pang dapat i-consider natin sa physical? Dapat naka shaving, very good. But in terms of shaving, no, that is not the correct term. No, that is the clippers. No, we are not using the shavers anymore because it could cause eventually your surgical site infection. That is also a board exam question. So kung na-encounter kayo ng skin preparation, kung during skin preparation, hindi na natin ideally, sir, kasi nakita ko nagsishave sila, ideally, hindi na tayo nagsishave. Ideally, it should be clippers. Kaso, yung nangyayari, mahal yung clippers, no? So kaya ginagawa natin, nagsishave pa rin tayo. But in terms of skin preparation to prevent surgical site infection, because every time na nagsishave ka, there is a sharp object, no? Sharp yung tinatawag nating shaver, then pwedeng ma-tear yung skin that could cause an introduction of microorganisms. Okay? So that's why we are using clippers. Psychologically, no, maraming fear. Ano yung isang fear nga ng pasyente prior to OR? Ano nga yung fear? Fear of, katulad nyo na may fear kayo as of the moment for the board exam kasi hindi pa alam kung anong gagawin. Fear of, very good, unknown. And we need to prepare the patient spiritually as well and legal. Now, speaking of consent, what is the responsibility of the nurse in terms of legal aspect in terms of consent? What is the responsibility of a nurse during consent? Is it to obtain your consent or just a witness? Are you sure? Sino nagsabi na witness lang tayo for informed consent? Are you sure? Are you sure? Yes or a yes? The patient? Are you sure? Sure na sure? Okay, very good. Mali ako. Okay? Mali